Tenant from hell who didn't pay rent for a year, trashes two-bedroom flat and leaves behind 8,000 empty beer cans, rotten food and a toilet overflowing with excrement. A tenant from hell wrecked his two-bedroom rental flat, leaving behind 8,000 beer cans, rotting food and a toilet piled with waste. Cleaner and wastewater management expert Freddie Gilliam Webb, 29, from Hampshire, was given the task of clearing up the property by the landlord once the problem tenant finally left after a year of paying no rent and trashing the flat. Horrendous photos show the living room piled with so many cans of beer that the entire sofa is almost obscured from view under them, while spiders had begun to swipe cans and lift them up in their webs. The bathroom toilet had never been flushed, and instead toilet paper and excrement had seemingly been carefully piled up in a leaning tower of pusa, 4 feet in the air. The kitchen was so bad that the dining chair and table are swamped and barely visible in a sea of trash that Freddie had to wade through. Freddie was forced to spend almost 30 hours across 3 days clearing out the property and was sick multiple times in the process as he waded through the appalling mess. It took a whopping 10 bottles of bleach to return the flat to normality, and they even had to use a digger to crush the mess in order to get it to fit inside the giant skip. Unbelievably, the tenant had taken off with only a text message to the landlord to say he might have left a bit of a mess, while the landlord lost more than £12,000 on the tenant's behavior. Freddie said, "As soon as I walked through the door there were beer cans everywhere and the smell was terrible." He clearly didn't use the bin at all because the kitchen was full of food waste, and in the living room there were half-eaten kebabs and moldy loaves of bread all over the floor. Upstairs there were bin bags full of cigarette ends and you couldn't see the floor because there were that many beer cans. I think I removed about 8,000 in total. The toilet was piled high with toilet paper and feces. It was disgusting. He'd never flushed it by the looks of it. The cleanup was just never ending. After the first day it didn't even look like I'd made a difference. Freddie, who works in wastewater management as well as doing other jobs like cleaning, building and plastering, was tasked with cleaning the flat, which is one of numerous owned by the property developer who builds, rents and sells flats and houses in the area. Despite his strong stomach from working with sewage, the rotten waste and overall stench of the flat was enough to make him vomit 3 times during the cleanup. Freddie said, "It had to have been like that for a while because it was really bad." He was just living in it and topping up the mess. The landlord had a skip at one of his building sites, so most of the rubbish went there and he used a digger to squash it down to fit it all in. "I think I went through about 100 big bags and 10 bottles of bleach. Because I work in wastewater I don't heave or throw up very easily, but cleaning that mess up I must have gagged about 20 times and was sick 3 times." The property owner had tried repeatedly to arrange a flat inspection after the nightmare tenant failed to pay any rent month after month. But he always made excuses to get out of it. A problem with the toilet's flush was identified and quickly dealt with during the cleanup, which may explain the mountain of used toilet paper and feces that was left. But the tenant failed to ever report this, not wanting his living habits to be revealed, much to the landlord's relief. After moving towards the eviction process, the tenant decided to leave of his own accord, allowing him to retake control of the property.